So you have like we have the new year coming up,
Okay.
right? The 11th is
Yeah.
coming. It comes,
Check
yeah,
that out.
our communities.
So the water rabbit,
Hmm.
the water rabbit, like, the wet
Yeah.
rabbit.
No, don't say the wet rabbit, that was my mistake.
Okay.
That was something silly that I thought it was, water rabbit.
Okay.
No, that's the dragon, the year of the dragon.
You're right.
Yeah, this year.
Wood dragon,
Hmm.
wood dragon, this,
I don't know. Let me
in
check.
Chinese is wood dragon, on this thing it says water rabbit,
Oh, really? Okay. Let me check out.
which is the.
Yeah, hi, please come in.
Yeah, water rabbit.
So Josh, come in.
They are not coming.
No, it's cold.
Cold. I
How
think.
is the road? It's safe? It's safe to drive around?
It's okay.
It's
Ish.
okay.
Glad you made it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, please book 11, right? February 11, we have
Yeah.
New Year. Okay. All right. So let us start our class. So you've been in our discussion before here too? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so the procedure is that I post online the book that we learn in, and we take turn to read, and after that we can share our knowledge. That's the way we can learn. Yeah. Let's see. So you know anything about Buddhism?
A little. Yeah. A little bit.
How much? How much you understand about Buddhism?
Well, just from my friends, just from like meditating,
Yeah. You know anything about Buddhism? You read some books?
Yeah, I read a book in high school and know about the Eightfold Path and Karma and Dharma. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of different types of meditating.
So you're not in school anymore, right? Yeah. How about you? You know much about Buddhism?
Very little.
You do? How about you?
So,
What do you understand about?
the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, and the
No.
Story of Buddha, and living with like correct not intention, but compassion and love and
Yeah.
kindness. And
Yeah, you got that. And you rest more, right? You rest some of them.
A little bit. I go to Dharma recovery.
Mhm. Okay, so let's just is too small for you? Can you see? Or you need bigger?
bigger.
It's better. And so if we take turn to read, yeah. So again we discuss about Buddhism based on the book. What they call the Buddhism, the illustrated guide, and every week we get read portion of that, and we learn from that. We read and we discuss together. So don't worry if you don't know anything. We are with when you read, and we can discuss too. Let's start with the emergence.
With the emergence of the movement within Buddhism that came to be called Mahayana, the concept of bodhisattva took on a new meaning. It is apparent from the early sutra that the students of the Buddha who became fully enlightened were called arhats, worthy ones, rather than Buddhas. But the distinction between the two was not an issue, for they realized the same Dharma. At a council believed to have been held 100 years after the Buddha's death, a disagreement is thought to have occurred over whether the Arhat's ideal was sufficient.
We can stop.
In Mahayana, there's different lineages of Buddhism. In this lineage of Buddhism, Mahayana, there's a distinction between those who follow the path and reach a certain level of enlightenment, arhats, and then those that supersede that and reach enlightenment as bodhisattvas, as those that continue to show others that enlightenment that way.
Let me give you
Pull up the image.
yeah. Yeah, we give you the chart so you can see what is mean by Theravada and Mahayana. So this one here. Too small.
Mhm.
Yeah, right here. It's good enough. Yeah. So yeah, Miss Pearson, please would you like to listen again?
To explain it or?
No. Get to give the whole the general idea of how it come about.
So Theravada, which that second word we never really use anymore, it's an outdated word. Theravada Buddhism is what is considered like Orthodox Buddhism that was brought down from Nepal and brought down into Sri Lanka and preserved just because Buddhism, you know, because there was a lot of like warring tribes and Islam came in there. And you know, passive Buddhists really don't stand a huge chance against. So anyway, so it was so you see down there where Sri Lanka is. They preserved down there what they call the Pali Canon, which is supposedly the language that the common people of the Buddha and what the Buddha actually said. These are supposedly repeated words generation after generation after, because of course it's a verbal thing. So that claim there is that that's the original language of the Buddha. Now there is other interpretations of this in similar languages like Sanskrit, whatever. A bit later, there was a kind of a separation because Buddhism was kind of designed to be flexible throughout cultures, right? There, it was the Buddha had to teach it that way from its early conception because you know they were traveling on foot from culture to culture that may have been warring tribal I guess that's maybe the best way to describe it. But anyway, so it's kind of designed to be, and it's also, he teaches truth. So the thing about truth is no matter how you bend it, it always comes to the same conclusion, right? So it's inherently flexible throughout the culture. So there was a need culturally to preserve Buddhism so that this original Orthodox type of Buddhism is really designed for the enlightenment of monks and nuns. So you see that throughout Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Burma, parts of Vietnam, Indonesia. And then you see as Mahayana kind of breaks off into these Eastern countries from China. So a lot of what they call Mahayana comes from these Chinese preserved traditions of what the Buddha said, even though it's moved through cultures and languages.
Okay, so
But it was designed for the people, for everybody. That's the main focus, is that it's designed for the lay people to be able to attain some, and also, so it's more designed for everyone to be able to enlighten, not just.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
So here you see that here the spot here, right? Too small. You see the spot here. So these are the area that the Buddha walked by foot in the 5th century BC. Spread he spread his teaching for 45 years, and after he passed away, so the monk came together and decided his teaching orally first. But by the 3rd century BCE, they start to record in Sanskrit his teaching. And in Pali tradition, that's mean the Southern tradition, they start to record teaching in Pali in Sri Lanka, in the 1st century BCE. So mainly there are two set up Buddhist scripture. One is written in Sanskrit, another one is written in Pali. The Sanskrit is belong to Mahayana. Mahayana has been the red vehicle that spread to the east, the far east, and the what do you call the Theravada is more Southeast Asia country like Burma, Thailand, and so forth. So basically, these are the idea of Theravada tradition in Mahayana. Theravada is just like I say more conservative in the southern part in Southeast Asia country. And Mahayana is more liberal, more accepting. So the tradition is focused on the monastics, Buddhist monks, their enlightenment, they attend the nirvana. This is the purpose. But in Mahayana, it's focused on everyone, every sentient beings can attend to the Buddhahood. Doesn't mean everyone can become Buddha. That's what Mahayana is about. And in order to do that, in Mahayana tradition, it's talk about what they call Bodhisattva path. Bodhisattva does mean we help ourselves and help others. Like when the students go to school, let's say then when they take calculus, if they excel in that course and they can help their peer, their friends to learn calculus too. So that's what they call Bodhisattva, help ourselves and help others. And if we can help ourselves, it kind of, we can say, selfishness. But in Theravada tradition, it focus on each individual. They focus more on the practice of meditation. They would not like to engage much about the social problem and so forth. But in Mahayana tradition, that the Bodhisattva ideal that encourage people to step out to help others while we practice Dhamma Buddhism. So that's a bit different, and that's what we stopped last time. So we like to give you a kind of overall background so we can know what we're talking about. Any question there? Yeah, so that's why it's here. So talk about the first Buddhist council, right after the Buddha passed away, 3 months after Buddha passed away. So they came together to decide orally the Buddha teaching, and they still have that kind of doubt about Arhat ideal, and they don't. Mahayana tradition came about. That's one, please. Form.
See.
Yeah, form.
From what was become Mahayana perspective, the Arhat path involved different practices and beliefs from the Bodhisattva path. Becoming an Arhat was designed as a mundane goal for the mere listeners, Shravakas, who could do no more than follow what they heard the Buddha preach. This is criticized by Mahayana thinkers as self-centered path, which individuals are so committed to their own liberation that they lose touch with the world around them and the suffering of others. By contrast, the path of the Bodhisattva is upheld as ethically and spiritually superior because of its supreme emphasis on the cultivation of compassion towards others who need help. Want me to stop there?
Yeah.
Okay. So. So becoming an arhat is to like, fully to be able to follow the Eightfold Path. You're pretty fully enlightened in this world, right? That means you're not gonna create more karma. That means your mind is so stable no matter what but that you've really understood and realized the Buddha's Dharma. That is some very, very high level stuff. A lot of the way that's done, of course, is by like, you hear about Buddhists going into the forests and enlightening that way, removing themselves from culture to be able to remove themselves of worldly attachments. But anyways, the Mahayana path, like that's what this place is. They're dedicated to help end the suffering of all living beings. Like even if they enlighten, they have made this like vow to come back lifetime after lifetime until all of us get there, right? Or, we can make that vow as, of course, as big as long as we want, but that's, for those of us that take that seriously, like in a lot of situations, like, okay, here, what is the most compassionate thing I can do that's, yeah, so it's kind of taking your commitment to compassion to a much deeper level.
Yeah, let's go back, in the West, right? We talk more about salvation, right? Like God bless you, save you, and so forth, right? You can see the news and all the art. But in the East, especially Buddhism, they talk about liberation. So there's two different terms and different paths. You know about that? What do you think?
She learned it here. Yeah.
What do you
She
think?
shared
What's
it.
the difference between liberation and salvation?
Salvation is when you look for something outside of yourself to save you, and like liberation for you free yourself from within, kind of, yeah.
So, which one do you think is more practical, is more beneficial? What do you think? Depend, right? Depend on each, right?
Both, I think that like, I
Mhm.
believe that like God is within us, so,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
important to like free yourself from within. If I believe that God is within me, it's like
Yeah.
both, I guess.
Yeah. Miss Taylor, you understand, right? Can you
Yes,
explain the difference between liberation and salvation? What's the difference?
salvation is you're being saved by somebody or something outside of yourself, an
Yeah.
external locus of control. And then liberation would be the opposite, where you're responsible for not saving yourself, but developing yourself to a point of personal freedom.
Mhm.
You have that responsibility for yourself.
Which one do you feel more comfortable with?
From my personal experience, liberation, absolutely. It's an internal locus of control where I'm responsible, and it's my abilities and to find that function within myself with the help of the Dharma, of course. And that's the only way I've been able to find that freedom. And yeah.
Yeah, so basically there's two parts, right? One is you look out to be safe, right? From someone else. There are some spin out there. The opposite part is to look within, right? So you need to work on yourself. But actually, the practical one is that every day, at the end of the day, we are the one that determine everything. Our spouse, our friends, our teacher, our boss, and so on cannot determine who we are. Only us, right? At the end of the day, no matter what we do, no matter where we are, we're the one that determine who we are, right? Whether the job, whether the relationship, whether business and so forth. So that's why in Buddhism is focused on developing ourselves in the fully way. It starts with especially in my higher tradition, it starts with a pure nature. Everyone has good at nature already. So we just need to develop. It's like if you're a teacher, you walk into the class, right? And you can tell your student two things you can tell your student. The first is that you say, oh, if you study hard, you get an A. If that you can have that ability, right, to excel yourself in the full way if you try your best. That's one attitude that the teacher can explain to the student. Another attitude is that, hey, you guys so dumb and so forth, you need to listen to me and so forth. So these two attitudes we know, one is negative, right? One is positive. So the positive one will be more uplifting for the student. So that's in Buddhist view. It starts with everyone has pure nature, good at nature. Yeah, people, for us, we make mistake from time to times, but we learn from our mistake, right? So uh, that's why in Buddhism, especially in my higher tradition, is advocates to develop our pure nature, good nature, Buddha nature, whichever we call, in the fully way. So I want to have that kind of nature equally, no more, no less, whether we are here, we are Vietnamese, Chinese, or even the in Buddhist view, the human or the celestial beings, animal, the dog, the cat, they still have that kind of pure nature. So, but because of karma, they stuck with that type of realm, but they still have the full potential to become Buddha too. So that's what Buddhism focus on, especially in my higher traditions. Yeah, so that we can try our best. Yeah. So Rubiya, right? Rupaya, right? So which one you feel more comfortable with?
It's hard to decide. I think I would say for me personally, I would have to try to liberate myself before I could even try to help anyone else. I think they're both needed, but I think it starts with trying to free yourself before you could help anyone else. Um, I do like I kind of do like the more traditional way, but I see benefits to both, and I think I don't know. I think you should combine them kind of. I think it's better when they're like when I can take, okay, I like this from here and this from here and make it one. I'm not a like really big fan of the separation. I feel like you kind of lose the overall um point of it, and I think it's better if I just combine it rather than focus on just following one specific practice. But what could I take from both that would help me first and then help other people as well?
So yeah, definitely in our life, right? We live together. We live in the what we call web of life, right? We depend upon our parents, our sibling, our spouse, and so forth, right? We need their support. We cannot live ourselves. We cannot survive by ourselves. We get their support, right? That's why we need support each other. Um, but the main one that determine who we are is ourselves. Or even we get support from others. No matter who support us, they would come and go.
Yeah.
So we are the one that determine. Of course, we need to put all people in consideration. We don't say, "Oh, I don't need you." No way, right? We cannot live in isolation. We need the support. But no matter what, we are the one who determine who we are. That's all. That's what in Buddhism about. And also in the Mahayana tradition, because of web of life, like you say, yeah, we step out to help others. Because when we help others, that means we break affinity or connection with them. So that in general, right, in some cases, if we need help, they can stop, they can jump in and help us. If we don't care about others, no one may not care us. So that's what Mahayana tradition is about too. Yeah, of course. So what do you think? You feel comfortable with both, right? Or what do you think?
I feel like I need other people, like, feel like every day I need to try to come to learn something, and I need to try to teach something to someone, like to help somebody. Feel like helping other people helps myself.
Yeah.
Especially if you like, especially in the karma sense, and almost, I wouldn't call it sacrifice, but like,
Contribute.
yeah, contribute.
Yeah. How about you? What do you feel? You feel both respect.
More comfortable with like getting outside spiritual help. But I think they're both like useful and like necessary for the path. I think it depends on where you're at, because like when I was at my lowest, there's no way I could have helped myself and liberated myself. I mean, it was like that wasn't working.
Definitely,
Like,
definitely,
there's no way in heaven that was gonna work. But later, as I got better and progressed, then I was able to work on myself and do liberation techniques. So I think they're both like
Yeah.
useful depending on where you're at in the journey.
Yeah, when we're still young, we're still little, right? We need our parents and whoever help us, raise us, right? But when we mature, we help others. How about you? What do you feel?
I feel like I needed outside in the beginning,
All right.
and then to begin to liberate myself, turn it. So I like that.
Oh, good. How about you?
I never thought of salvation from another person. I've always thought of salvation from like a higher power, but so it's an interesting question to me, but I definitely feel liberated now. Like I've made a lot of progress, but I agree with what they're saying. At some point, I had to lean on a higher power or someone else to get where I'm at today, to be able to empower myself. So.
Most of you guys are 12-step program.
Right.
Yeah, so 12 in that program that focuses on that they gotta lean on a higher power.
Yeah. But then go back. Can you explain briefly about what's meant by liberation? Why you need to have that type of liberation? Why is that?
Right.
Liberate what?
Liberate self, liberate mind. This idea, especially in Buddhism, of liberation is also found in that inner nature, inner Buddhist, inner goodness, inner light. I think in mindfulness in Christian, we see this statement of God's within us, or the universe is within us. In Buddhism, it's a statement of inner light, inner goodness, inner Buddha. And in finding that liberation and turning within, you see the world reflected out. And it doesn't matter how much a higher power sends a boat to save you from a flood, or a person reaches out to help. You can't force a horse to drink. You can't create something for someone else. You can present, and that inner salvation, that inner liberation and setting with self of liberating to a inner goodness then allows others to come, but you can't create that for them. They have to turn into that liberation, into that moment themselves.
I mean, I had to have heart surgery, so I guess that doctor was my savior, you know what I mean? But like after that, it was on me to heal myself.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And I think
I think there is different.
It's like the 12-step point of view. I think that is really liberating yourself. If you're really taking a look, like the steps are designed, take a look at yourself, and response is not going to do that for you, But you can have But even asking a sponsor a question, that's part of you liberating yourself, you know, so if you don't understand something, ask it and you learn, you know.
Just showing up and being willing and even asking any higher like energy to like help is a step of your own choice, you know.
Yeah.
But also our 11th step is meditation.
Nice. I'm teaching at IUS and University of Houston. Most of my students, they have what called test anxiety. And I think, yeah, you mature enough, but sometimes, let's say if you go to have a job interview, you may have that kind of anxiety too, right? Or some special event that you may speak in front of hundreds of thousands of people, you may have that kind of anxiety. So that type of anxiety is what they call in the general term, this is this discomfortable or what they call suffering, right? And I used to tell my students that before they come to class to take the test, just let go of expectation. Most of the time, the anxiety comes from expectation, right? They expect that they will get an A on the test. That's why they're nervous, whether the professor give them easy test or hard test, or the question they know of or they may not know of. They stress out if they don't understand about the question that the professor put there. That when you walk into the room to have the interview, if the interviewer asks some question that out the blue, you don't know how to respond. You stress out, right? So I used to tell them, try their best to study and just try their best to take the test. Don't have any expectation. That's a way, what you call, liberate their mind. Liberate us means to let free up their mind of expectation. So when whichever thing we do, whether taking the test, having an interview, or having any kind of relationship with other people, if we don't have much expectation about things, we feel more calm, right? We feel more at ease. That's a difference. This is depend on how we handle our mind setting, right? The first one, if we have so much expectation, we stress out, have so much anxiety. That's just may affect to our thinking, our health, right? Another attitude is just try our best. It's more healthy. So that's what the co-liberation is about. Let go of those kind of expectation. So that's all. This is within our mind. And if we know how to handle a situation in any circumstances, it's more healthy for ourselves. And that's what we call liberation, right? Liberate ourselves from those kind of attachment, from those kind of expectation, so that we can be free, so that we can be at ease with ourselves. And of course, other people, they can, I mean, that's my student, they say, oh, they make pray for God, whoever, to help them out. That's okay too. But they have to work mainly within their mind. They let go of the expectation and just try their best. That's a different, yeah. Anyway, so go back again. I think for me too, in my high tradition, we focus on meditation, like you come here to do, and we recite Buddha name, recite mantra. When we recite the mantra, we invoke the blessing from Buddha and Bodhisattva too. Like you say, yeah, when we have accident, when we sick, all right, we need to get support, to get treatment from doctor, right? Otherwise, we could not be recovered easily. But even during the recoveries periods, the one that determine how recovery is faster or slow is us, not the doctor. Right? The doctor can give the guideline, can give the advice, right? But we are the one that determine.
Yeah, it's us that's healing.
You know that.
Yeah.
And I got this one here. Yeah, I got accident. I know that. I know that. I learned from lesson. Yeah. So again, so no matter what, yeah, this is critical time, like you say, critical times when we're so low, so down, so frustrated, and so forth, we need those support.
I think a lot of those frustrations for me anyway, like you said, the expectations, I'll put so much high expectations on stuff and it doesn't go the way it's supposed to be, like that I wanted it to go.
Mhm.
And then I'll feel low. And
That's the
I'll
point.
feel depression
Mhm, that's the point.
and
Mhm.
it's something that always leads me back to drinking, and that's something I need to work on within, you know, so. Yeah.
That's what they call the liberation of the mind. Let go of the mind, being free of those expectations. That's all. It's
Yeah, those
simple.
are all projections, and those are
Mhm.
things that you learn in meditation. I think they,
Mm.
of course, encourage you to bring a lot of those things is that
Mm.
how do you free yourself from anger, hatred, jealousy, delusion?
Mhm. Yeah, we expect a lot of things from our spouse, from our girlfriends, boyfriend, from our teacher, whoever we interact with, whichever we do. So this is normal. That's why we get stressed, right? That's why we have anxiety. So in meditation, we train our mind to focus our mind on the breath only. Whichever breath come in and out, we just accept them. So we reverse the pattern with that acceptance, so that we can make peace with ourselves, with our breath, our mind, our body, and eventually we accept other people surrounding us. So that's why we can make peace with ourselves. That's the reverse way to train our mind.
I want to get more comfortable with the inner way.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that's so that's a bit different, right? Yeah. When we in danger, when we can call for God to help, for Buddha, Bodhisattva to help, but at the end of the day, we have to try our best. We have to stand up for ourselves. So of course, that combination, what you call support from others and self-support, but the self-support is more important. That determine who we are, right? All right, so let's go back to our discussion then. Okay, let's see here. Miss Taylor, would you mind to read this portion, please?
Only the Bodhisattva path can lead to the transcendental cosmic status of a Buddha. Mahayana theorists claim that the way of the Bodhisattva was the only complete path that a Buddha had actually taught, labeling the Arhat path as only a temporary construct meant to prepare his disciples for the final teaching. So it's just saying that in the Mahayana school, they believe that the Bodhisattva path is the only way that you can become a Buddha.
Yeah, in Mahayana we have what we call 52 levels of Bodhisattva, not one. So we have to go through that levels, like before to become a PhD, right? We need to go to high school. We need to finish bachelor degree, master degree before we go to take the PhD program, the enroll PhD program.
Or that'd be like, be two lifetimes, so.
No, it's
Okay.
it's especially in Mahayana Buddhist tradition, time is limitless. So in Buddhist view, after we die, we come back again. It's just like it's a circle. So let's say most of you are out of school, right? All of you are out of school now, right? And what happened? Like if you want to improve your learning skill or knowledge and so forth, you can go to college again to get to take some credits, right? And you can enhance your knowledge, enhance your skill if you go to school or take college and so forth. So in the high tradition, yes, this lifetime we can practice that Buddhist path, and if we done, next lifetime we can do again. We can improve ourselves, depend upon our determination. So it's not take one lifetime. in Mahabodhi tradition that the Buddha in the past he had practiced his Bodhisattva path so many lifetimes, and this lifetime is the last life for him to become Buddha. He could not become Buddha on the spot within this lifetime. It takes a lot of time to accumulate wisdom and merit in order to become Buddha.
Well, even in the Theravada traditions, if you really look at what it means to enlighten, you would see that that's far off many lifetimes as a monk.
Again, it's not easy, right? Now we have internet, now we have cars, airplane. It's not come overnight, right? Yeah, it's just come from human product, but this start from simple car, right? In early 90s, right? It's the 20th century, and internet, right? It just start when only 2 or 3 decades ago when we was born, right? Most of us would not have that internet.
I
We would
didn't have knowledge.
we would not have cell phone, right? We don't have much computer. I remember that when we went to Penn State University in the late 80s, at that time, Penn State University have what they call computer mainframe. It's huge, the whole building, right? I don't know if you went to school in those time, right?
Yeah.
It's just a huge building, and that's more advanced than other places, and they could text and connect with, I mean, chat with some of my friends. But at that time, we didn't have internet yet. But now it's developed bit by bit. So there's a Buddhist Bodhisattva path. It takes time to grow. It takes time to develop. It takes time to progress. To make progress in that path from, I mean, that from lifetime to lifetime.
When you said 42,
What is that?
you say 42, so that's 52, so okay, level.
52 level.
But
Yeah.
after that, do you still live like a lifetime?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can come back a lifetime, right?
Okay.
If like the billionaires, right? Most of them they would not be billionaire over time, right? If you watch some documentaries about some of them, right? It takes time for them to build up their wealth. It's not over time. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they success. I watched the documentaries about the one that make chocolate Hershey. You know that?
Hershey.
Hershey? Yeah, he failed so many times, and somehow later on, because of his persistence, he could make his business successful. And this is it takes times. It's up and down. It's up and down. It's nothing in life is a smooth way. No, nothing. It takes times. Go to study, to do business, even engage in kind of relationship and so forth. So it takes time. As long as we are persistent, we can be successful. Otherwise, if we don't have much patience, we can give up any times. So anyway, go back to your question. It takes time to
You
grow.
like to create your own heaven, like on earth.
Yeah, it takes times. It takes time to accumulate good deeds. Take time to accumulate merit and wisdom. It takes time. So yeah. So that's why in Maha tradition it say that all the Buddhist path is only path that can become Buddha, but take times. They will sometimes we fail. Like the student, right? They may fail the class, or they may excel in different classes and so forth. Yeah. Yeah. You like to read?
Okay.
You can read this. Can you see?
Okay.
Huh?
I was going to add.
Oh yeah, please. You want to read?
Yeah.
In Mahayana culture.
Those who are committed to attaining complete emancipation for themselves and others are deserving of the label Bodhisattva. Because the concept of personal enlightenment attained without the enlightenment of others would appear from the Mahayana perspective not to be a true enlightenment. The Bodhisattva path is characterized by a
Let me go down here. Yeah. Can you remember that? Treasures, right?
art, art,
No, treasures.
oh,
Yeah, this one, yeah.
oh, rigorous, yeah.
Yeah.
Rigorous standard of compassion called karma, in which the devotee makes the bodhisattva vow and promises, according to some Mahayana texts, that his or her final liberation will be postponed until all others can achieve the same. This explains why there are no Buddhas in our midst.
Mm.
There may be many bodhisattvas who are sensitive to an individual's pride.
Yeah, you understand this?
Yeah, I actually have known about bodhisattva for a long time. And I first found out about it when I was 15. I had my first spiritual awakening, and then now come to find out I'm like an addict in recovery, and like we basically have to help people. And so I almost feel like I just signed myself to do this like before this lifetime to fulfill this bodhisattva vow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sucks sometimes, but
Yeah. You got that book I sent to you?
Thank you, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in one of the what called minor Bodhisattva precept that encourage us to help others in the way. Let's say, let's suppose you are a doctor, right? You have all skill, you have all knowledge of helping the patient, and somehow at night, right? So one of your friends call, hey, I break my legs, my ankle, and so forth. Please come to help. If you have the skill, if you have the time, so say, hey, I need to sleep. You violate that precept. You understand that? So that precept encourages us to step out to help others. So eventually we can build up our habitual pattern to help anyone else that need help. Of course, if we watch the video clips online, right? It's many instances people just jump out to help because of the dangers surrounding them. So that's what the Bodhisattva path there, Bodhisattva conduct there. Yeah, but if we hesitate, we may have the second thought, right? Hey, I don't want to jump into the fire. Hey, I don't want to jump into the water and maybe crowded and so forth. With that type of second thought, we may not have help that person in that instant there. So this kind of minor precept encourage to step out of our shell to help others. Just that's to build up our habitual pattern from time to time. And that's why, some people, when they see those type of even in dangerous situation, they jump without hesitation, but others, they may not. So depend how we build up our skill. Yeah. Okay, Rubia, you want to read next one? Since, yeah. Well, can you see? Okay. Rukoya, are you there? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry. My job just called me, so I'm
Really? Are
in the
you
middle of a call right now. I can't read.
Are you?
My manager just called me.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, one more thing is, I need to illustrate that in Mahai Buddhist tradition, especially in the Bodhisattva path, it said that we need others in order to become Buddha.
Mm.
The billionaires, right? They cannot be billionaires by themselves. They have to serve people, right? Whether Bill Gates or whoever, right? The more they serve people, the more they earn income. That's why they advertise the product, right? Oh, this is my product. My product is the best one. Whether the cup, computer, and so forth, right? So the more they advertise the product, the more wealth they get. The more they serve others, the more they be wealthy. That's why in my Buddhist tradition, Bodhisattva Father said that the more we support and help others, the more we gain the blessing and wisdom. We cannot gain the blessing by helping ourselves alone. Of course, in terms of I mean, in conventional ways, it's called selfishness. That's why in Mahayana tradition, this is a reverse that way. The reverse the pattern. We step out to help others so that we can earn the merit there. Without other people, there's no way for us to be rich, be wealthy. Without other people in the Mahayana tradition,
You mean like rich in money or rich in love? Or rich
both, in all kinds of circumstances, right? Yeah, if we share our love, definitely most of the time we can receive love, right? If we share compassion, not only in the monetary term, but also in the spiritual term, in psychological term, and so forth. Yeah, I asked my younger student, especially youth, let's say if they don't have any penny, but what happens if they see the homeless out there? What should they do? What kind of things that they can give to them?
Smile.
Yeah, just a smile. Just they care, just respect, right? That's all. When we help other people, it doesn't limit ourselves in the monetary term, but also in how we care, how we share, how we show our compassion and so forth to other people, right? So anyway, so especially in Mahayana Buddhism, we need to rely upon other to develop our good karma. Without that, right, we cannot. That's what the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, especially Bodhisattva path, is about. But in the Theravada tradition, no, I just need to do meditation. That's all. On the forest, in the forest, I just want to attain nirvana, right? To liberate my mind from all kind of stress, all kind of anxiety and so forth, so that I can be free myself. But in my, to research is so selfish. We cannot do that. We need to have that. That's why in our center we have all kind of activities. You hear that? You hear that, all right? They practice. They practice the land teams, land dance. They have the practice. They have the performance throughout the years, and we have after school here. We open. This is the center for our communities, not only for Buddhist monks, but for all communities. Yeah, so that's otherwise you will not see in the Theravada temple. No way for the children to stay back here. Yeah, so we open for everyone. We share with others. Okay, so let us stop here today then. Okay, so thank you, and please come back if you have time. Right. Thank you.
Beautiful. Mofak.
Yeah, hopefully you come down. All right, you come down with me.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.